Hi everybody.
Is it
Looks like
working?
the stream is going. It's gonna lag.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, looks like some antivirus is installed on
Yeah.
Roman's Mac that taking up all the system
Fortunately.
resources. Yeah.
But anyway, we can try. Um, is there any problem with our voices, with sound? Uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna
could
be
you
answering in chat
check it?
while Roman's gonna live code. So ask your questions whenever you feel like. I will be answering them.
Let me turn our mic off and we can check how is. Maybe it can work.
Yeah, there's a lot of background noise from the street. I think I'll try to
Mhm.
close the window. I hope we will not suffocate here. It's very warm today.
Yeah, summer in Russia. So, how many people do we have? 7. It's cool.
Right, so let's roll.
I see green square. That means maybe our connection with YouTube is good enough. Okay, well, it's right now. Okay, we can try this way. So, here we have Taiga UI, and today we are gonna contribute into Taiga UI. We have multi-dimensional view Polymorphis edition stack Blitz. It's kinda TreeView component that I made for my article and that I posted to my Medium maybe a couple of months ago. And yeah, it's simple enough. It's a recursive Angular component, and I hope we are gonna add it into Taiga UI today. And I can show how everyone can contribute into Taiga UI without any problems. A new component. Let's start with contributing MD. It's our small MD file with a description how we work. It's very easy to start. Everything we need is npm CI to install dependencies. I made it, and we can also use npm start to launch demo project, but I think I'll do it later because it can cause many new lags. I don't want to be lagging on the stream. Well, here I have the UI. Let me zoom in. I think you can see it. Is it okay?
Yeah, I've set my quality to lowest so I don't take the bandwidth. I think you should increase the size a little bit.
Well,
if you can. Yeah, it should be fine, I guess. Let us know in chat if the code is too small for you to see.
Just if there are some problems. Oh, there are 11 people. It's cool. Well, I think this component can be located in Kit library. It's the right level for it because core package has some base components like, for example, button or primitive text field, calendar without anything, and so on. And Kit has some just components for work like avatar, badge, some checkboxes, inputs based on primitive text field. And here we can add a new folder, or we can also copy any folder, for example badge, and rename it. It's a hack. by me as an experienced Taiga UI developer. Sometimes it's easier to copy a folder and to remove all the code you don't need. Oh, so we have multi-dimensional view component. Let's rename beige. So, how do you think? Is it okay to name component multi-dimensional view?
I think you should call it TreeView because that's how everybody knows it.
Maybe. Well, yeah, let's rename it to TreeView. I see new lags, new wave of lags. Lags wave. Okay, and now we can copy our code from stack Blitz.
You forgot the template.
I have no template
You
here.
had one work, one job.
Yeah, it's HTML and template TreeView template HTML. Can delete this and insert this one. Well, okay, let me copy this and then we can discuss this implementation. Maybe you will have some questions about it. So, and here we have extra styles, and I think we can just remove it. It's about this particular implementation with some dots and lines. And
Yeah, I'm gonna add them later and explain the styles. We don't want it to be bundled.
Should be some reusable thing that to allow everyone to customize it for their projects. Oh wow, and it's TreeView template.
You got a lot of red stuff.
Let me fix it. Up.
There you go.
Prettier is cool.
Template.
Oh, alright. Template. Okay. Now we have TreeView template and TreeView template HTML. I think it's written right, but there are some new problems with lags, unfortunately. I hope.
We need to change it in the template as well. Styles.
Yeah, we can write here. Yes, style.
Is this how we usually?
Yeah.
Alright.
That's how we usually do. And one more interesting thing, we need to add it as a public API in our components. Here we have index.ts file that contains all the components that we have in Taiga UI kit. And here we can just add a new one. Here is TreeView. And by compiling our library, it's will be processed into this folder and as a secondary entry point. And here we have two files as a public API of this particular entry point with TreeView. now we have our public NPI in public. And
I think you need to move the type into types folder. It's
do you
actually
think
pretty
so?
generic. I'm not sure where it should go.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Looks like something for the CDK, but I'm not sure if we're ever gonna use it somewhere else.
Or
The guy's making fun of us copying folders.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Well,
course. There has to be a CLI for that, but it's hard for us to learn the new trick.
Yeah, but we have actually schematics for creating new pages for our demo portal, but it's fine that schematics is longer to use than just copying a page with maybe similar examples, because when we work and we want to add a new sample, a new page, for example, like for TreeView, we can remember that there are some components with similar samples, and we can
I think you're gonna see that,
particular,
very
folder.
soon. So,
So
explain a little bit what you got here.
about type. I'm thinking where should it be?
Maybe we just remove the type altogether and just put it straight in line here.
But
T
we
or-
cannot.
We cannot?
Yeah, because it's
Oh, that's
recursive
right.
type.
Recursive type, that's smart.
Sure.
Okay, so let's keep it here.
Okay.
At least for now. If we're ever gonna use it somewhere else, we will try to find a better
Alright.
place for it.
Well, let's discuss a little bit about what we have here. It's it's a TreeView component. First of all, it takes value that is actually a kind of multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array means that it can be some item, or it can be an array with the same thing. With it can be an array of items, or it can be on an array of items, and it can be
each item in this
endless.
array. Each
Yeah.
item in this array can be a single item
This
or an array. Yeah.
array. Yeah.
So that's a recursive type. It's something that TypeScript was not allowed to do. Maybe in Angular 7, right? Only
Yeah.
in a later version.
I think it's TypeScript 3.6 or 3.8. But anyway, yeah, Angular 7 doesn't support it, unfortunately. And we get such an array here. User can just set some array.
Yeah, this is a good example of what it could be. It could be a string
For
hello or an
example,
array
yeah.
of strings. And one item of this array is also an array of strings.
Yeah, it works.
One thing I want to add here before the pull request review is you can add our decorators to be safe from undefined.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have a decorator called to default value, default prop. We use it so that if somebody passed an item which is undefined to an input, it shows a warning in console that you might have forgotten to add this variable in your component. So it has saved us for a few times when people forgot to declare something, and we are expecting an array, not null or undefined. So it would be reset to a default value, which is an empty array.
Okay, and here's our template. It's also
I should change the name of it.
yeah, some recursive things, because here we have two cases. We can consider two cases actually. The first one is array case. That means that we can check our value with array function. We check this instead of instance of because it's a more safe option in some iframe, for example, or in some cases array can be not an instance of array global
yes, like
object.
8-bit array, right? uint array or something like that. There are several types of array.
And array works for every case. And if our value is array, then we can just set every item of this array into next level of TreeView. And otherwise it's item, and we can just show this item with our Polymorphis outlet. And here we also have some recursive component.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't know it was possible to for a component to have the same component inside its template. So recursive components
it's works
mind blowing
problems, and everything you need to do is quit recursion when you need it. So we do it here because when we have not an array, we just have item and we show it.
I think a Polymorphis outlet is a 2.0 version. We should have div here. It wouldn't work with Polymorphis 3.0, which is what we have in Taiga.
Yeah, sure.
I shouldn't have removed that. Polymorphis,
I think we can work a little bit with our model that is actually 2x model now. And we need also to add a TUI prefix to our TreeView because
that's
now
right.
it's not TUI. That's not right, because we have Taiga UI here, TreeView, and here I think we can also name it TUI multi-dimensional array.
And the import is wrong as well. There's a question in chat. Could you explain the generic in the component, the T?
It's a TypeScript generic that we can set for this for the whole class, because generics can be, I don't know how to say, maybe different levels. For example, if I have a method here, some get method, I don't know, get something, I can also add here some generic this way. It will work only inside this method, and it's pretty cool. We can make some contracts inside the method, and in this case we are doing we do the same thing but for the whole class.
This is actually how we write all our components. We never use particular interfaces if we can. Right now we wanted to support any data model you have, so we really don't want to tie users to particular interface, and the generics is the way to go in TypeScript. We just say this is gonna be something, and the same something is gonna be here, but we don't know what it is, and we don't really care because we don't try to get any key of that value or something. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be a string, an object, or a class, or anything. Polymorphis module, you also need one.
Polymorphis model.
Oh, nope, not that.
Polymorphis model, and now we can add Polymorphis outlet directive here to show our item. Well, everything is alright. I hope so. Here we also have TreeView component that works with this item. Alright, so
let's see what's going on here.
yeah, I've discussed it already, and everything that we didn't see is styles, and I think we can set here padding left 20 pixels. Why not? It will be a default value, but every user of the component can actually create their own class with to replace the styles with some other styles to customize TreeView.
Yeah, I will add an example of how we
Yeah.
can customize it later on.
Well, padding left 20 pixels.
We typically use something that is divided by 4, so 20 is okay, maybe 24 could look better. So a lot more space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so, well, do you have any questions about implementation of the TreeView?
People are asking if we will be able to use a sync pipe. I'm not really sure what they meant by that, but you see the input is an array. You can pass some stream to it with a sync pipe that resolves to an array. Yeah, so this could be possible if you want to fetch something from the server. And one thing I wanted to add is context. It's typically an object, not any generic, and we should add a object here with a implicit value, which you could use in templates, like, you know, when you write ng template let hyphen data, for example, and you get that key from the object of context. And here Roman is using pure decorator, which is our way to create some sort of pure pipe in a component. It's a decorator that you can drop on a getter for lazy calculation. We don't use I anymore. Yeah, which would be a lazy getter calculation, which would only be calculated when you request it, and then it would be replaced with a property, so it does not recalculate later. Or you could put it on a function, on a method of a class, and it would remember the previous arguments that you passed to it, and would not recalculate if the arguments are the same. So it's like a pure pipe in Angular, but in component code. It's a pretty cool thing, actually. We write it all the time because we do not want to store any states. Like, for example, we could have an ng on change here and create this object when value changes, but if we do it this way, we would have to manually sync those states, and it would be our responsibility. But if we use a getter, then it calculated automatically. But this time we create a new object, so getter would be a much heavier operation when creating a new object, instead of, you know, like checking if it's just an array. And this way we could optimize the change detection cycle by using pure decorator.
Alright. You guys don't use WebStorm for Angular development. Alex uses. I don't. But I have WebStorm, but I don't like it.
Steven asking if we haven't used Polymorphis, what would be the challenges of this thing? For once, we would have to support strings and probably templates, and you could use some class with toString. defined, so you could have a string version of your data, but it's not that reasonable to have only strings. I mean, if you want to add some icons or custom styles like bold text or maybe multi-line values, you would need to support templates as well. So we would have to support strings and templates, and if you have some component that you may be reusing across multiple applications to show, like a component that displays a company that you want to show in this TreeView or something like that, you will not be able to reuse a template across applications, so you would also need to support custom components, and at this point it's just basically Polymorphis as is. This is what we would be working with. So if you haven't heard what Polymorphis is, it's just a little library that we have created, which combines all the ways you can have some data displayed on page. It could be a template, a dynamic component, maybe some primitive like a string or a number, and it could also be a function that returns a primitive. So it would receive a context as an input, as an argument, and it would return a string. It's a really cool stuff. Maybe we could do some video on it. I think I've talked about it a couple places, but we have not had a dedicated video on this channel, so maybe we'll add it later on. Anthony is asking if we could use the observable as data and the sync pipe in our ng4 inside this template, but this is not the place to have observable. Observable is something you would have above where you use our component, and you will not pass it inside here because you want to control all the subscriptions with a sync pipe, all the data processing, requests and things like that, and you want to feed the actual data inside components and not pass observables as inputs.
And it just can't work, unfortunately, because here we also have ng4, and if we made the structure with observable or whatever, we cannot pass the second observable as a value, because here we need
this is a recursive type, and it would be a mess.
The same thing that we have in the value of this component. It's this thing of recursive components.
So can you show a template again?
Yeah, sure.
So you see, we pass in the content either content if we passed something, or just value itself. So by default, content is an empty string, and then we show the value itself. So if we have strings, it would just show strings as they are, but we could pass some maybe function that handles that to display it differently, or a template, and we would show it in a demo.
Well, I think now we have two TreeView component. It's cool and it's ready enough to be committed, so we can make the first commit. And to do this, we have pull request process paragraph in our contributing MD. Everything we need to do is follow conventional commits. That is actually easy, because conventional commits is an easy convenient, and we have linters to prevent wrong messages. But anyway, you can just write here feed,
because it's a feature,
feed as a package. TreeView add new component, and we can commit it.
What is the branch name? TreeView.
TreeView.
There's a question, what is the VS Code theme that you use?
It's Night Owl.
Night Owl, like a bird, right?
Yeah. Night Owl. This one.
Right.
have some linters here.
Yeah, the commit is taking some time because the linter is checking all the files that Roman has added. The pre-tier would take care of formatting, and we don't run unit tests on pre-commit. They are run by GitHub Actions on the pull request. Also, we could try some unit tests here, but there is no code.
Boring,
right?
yeah.
I mean, there's no code here at all. Like, we would just be checking that array is array, and
and text can be calculated. Yeah, it's just boring and makes no sense.
Actually, the more we work on Taiga UI, the less code we write.
Yeah, it can be actually tested with some kind of screenshot tests. It can be a good idea to cover this when we have a demo page. We can screenshot it and check two versions after every commit. But unit tests is not the cool idea, I think. Okay, do you wanna create a demo page by yourself, or maybe I can do it and you can just add some new examples?
Whatever is good for you. If you can create it.
Yeah, I can copy our folders.
Yeah, once again.
For example. So we have a lot of different components on our demo, and
let's pick something simple. I think expand is something that has only one example. That's probably something we would have.
Check it.
And I can add a second one with custom design.
Okay, let's copy expand, and we can rename it. It's funny that I like to speak a lot about some developer experience and things like that, but I rename my components after copying a folder. But anyway, it's fast enough.
You know, I think I would use a CLI if I could just right-click a folder and call some action there. If you guys know maybe extension for WebStorm or something that could do that, because I'm not that proficient with CLI, with command line, and I would have to use some CD and navigate to the folder I want, and that's just very tedious to me. I just don't do that. I like to use the graphic user interface, so copying works better for me. So you saw that in our component we had a getter that would apply a class, which is array. This is something that we would have to stick to as a public API, because if you want to be able to style it, you would need to target array with some selector, and a class is fine here. And we would create some custom design for it right now to show some dots there that Roman has created for the tip he had on Stack Blitz, but we would add it to Taiga as an example.
So, and I think we'll
remove everything here, right?
The second section about
API, right? Because we don't have any API here, really, just two inputs, and it's better to just see by example.
We need to write setup. Now package is Git, and header is TreeView. Type components, sure. Component that shows multi-dimensional arrays.
As a tree structure.
Yeah,
One thing we should consider though is people might want to collapse and expand the sections. So this is something we will not be making on this live stream, and we'll think about later. We have expand component that collapses and expands with animation, and probably this is something that people would want to have in a TreeView, but it's not that trivial to implement. So we would add it later before we merge this feature.
Yeah. Here we have two TreeView model. That means that it is in a public API of our Kit library. It's good to see, and it's good to have one big workspace with a lot of libraries and demo portal that can test it, and here we can see our result. I think we need to here
just make sure the example template is empty.
We need to remove this code, and here I need to rename it to TreeView example 1. TreeView example 1.
Remove this code, and in the demo page
and
there's also
I also need to add it in the roads and pages files.
Yeah, the comment there is definitely we need a collapse expand, and of course we would add it. It would just take a lot longer. You would get bored and stuff, so this is something for later. If you can just check out the pull request that we would add for this and see how we implement it.
How many people? 16 people. We can add you all into reviewers sections on GitHub.
Of course. Just drop us a word on Twitter or something if you want us to notify you when this is live.
Oh, I see many likes here. Unfortunately.
Don't care about that. I would add it myself.
Likes. Okay. So here's to do for you.
Right.
And now
there's an interesting question there that you could answer once I start coding. What should I know to pass an interview to think of team as an Angular project?
Oh.
Roman actually does a lot of interviewing.
Yeah.
Right now we only hire people from CIS, right? Commonwealth, whatever, post-USSR countries.
Yeah.
So you have to be Russian, or you live in Ukraine, Belarus, or Kazakhstan, those countries. There are a lot of people working remotely here. But if you are interested in skills that you need to have, Roman could cover that once I start coding, and he would start answering questions.
Alright.
So now what Roman is doing, he's adding routing for a new component, and there's also an injection token for all the sections that you have in the demo portal, which you could access through the menu on the left or through search. And you could actually use demo portal for your own projects. It's also a package from Taiga UI. It's called TUI add-on doc, and you could just use the README to set it up for you.
Well, some keywords. With those you can find this component on our demo, typing in search the multi-recursive folders. Do you have any ideas more?
Yeah, that's fine, I think.
Okay.
Something that we could always add later.
And we also need to add approach page. Toggle.
There are a few comments about challenges that we were posting. We have a few more. This week is the last week. We have Rex.js challenges for you. It was a little bit exhausting for us trying to write an article every 2 days. I'm glad you guys like that, and we have some plans to do more challenges, but this time for dependency injection, which is another section that I really like about Angular, and maybe some TypeScript challenges for types. We would see, but we need to take some time off of that to restore our mindset.
Mana.
Yeah, cool down. That's right. So what I wanted to say is that we also were thinking of discussing the challenges live stream on this channel. Well, we could walk you through the solutions that we have and explain why we used it like that. I mean, we have articles about it, but it would probably also be interesting to know what was our thought process and how we made these solutions with us explaining it. If it's interesting for you, let us know. This is something we are considering right now. Okay, so
I want to start it to be sure that we have this empty demo page, and then I'll try to commit it, and we'll switch our devices.
Right.
So or maybe it's not a cool idea. I can commit it as is.
Yeah, let's try that. I will fix it if there's something wrong.
Let's do it with our console. Well, it's chur. That means that it's some just some not important things that we don't wanna add in our changelog, because we have a big changelog with all our changes, and it's generated automatically with standard version. So that's why we love conventional commits so much. And well, here we have demo changes, and we add TreeView page. Nothing more.
I see people expressing excitement about DI challenges, and they like that.
Cool.
Yeah, challenges review is what.
DI is a very big topic. It's cool.
Yeah, it might be a little bit hard to make challenges, particularly about DI, so there might be less than 20 this time. We would need to think about that. I only have one for now. I mean, that I already came up with, but we would after we take some time off, we will come up with a list and start posting those.
Well, commit is success.
Yeah, I'll pull it.
And you can pull it, and now we need to take a couple of minutes to switch our translation sources. Please,
did you not forget to... Settings, and you see that it works now.
Yeah, it works.
Let me just use this one. right? Looks like it's working now. Alright, so sorry for this little delay. Let me pull the code. And now you will suffer my white theme because I like white.
It doesn't sound good.
Alright, so npm start, that's what I'm gonna do. So let's close all that. I never understood the obsession of people with dark themes. I think that it's better for my eyes to see black and white to work for a long time. And typically I use the lights on. We are just streaming now and the full lights would look terrible. And when I work I always turn the lights on. So let's hope it starts. And Roman did not mess everything terribly.
I sent the link to the pull request, but I also need to add VIP, that means work in progress, to this.
So here's the
But you
page.
can start to review it if you want. Light attracts bugs. Hi Stefan. Great to see
Okay,
you.
so go ahead and answer the questions
yeah.
there.
Well, we have which was the first about what?
The first was about what skills do you need by
Yeah, sure.
Hi friend Alfred.
Okay, I think do we have a kind of landing page about it?
Don't know.
I can try to find it, and if there is, I can send the link.
I see already a mistake. You forgot to rename the example component. So let's create some structure here. We'll use a read-only data, and it would be an array. Top level 1. Let's just create something totally random.
Yeah, well, I didn't find the information about some kind of landing page with description how our interviews work, but I can say that there are several stages, and the main stage is about web and Angular, and actually there are some questions about JavaScript and how it works, maybe a couple of tasks, and there is also a big section about Angular, and I think it covers all the topics in Angular ecosystem. There are also some tasks to solve, and there are many theoretical questions about how it works, maybe. So if you wanna prepare yourself for interview in our company, you can just
Learn everything.
Yeah,
That's right.
about Angular. And if you wanna apply for our front-end position, you can write to us, for example, in Twitter or in Telegram, and we can help you with this process. Well, and there was also a good question: how come Roman isn't a GDE? Not interested. It's a good idea to become a GDE. I think maybe I will apply for this program in this year when I have time to do this.
Also, you need an invitation to it, and since Roman is my good friend,
Yeah,
I think I cannot invite him, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure somebody else will invite him soon.
I think I have many
Yeah.
GDE friends, and I have also much experience in GDG, that is Google Developer Group, I think. Yeah, I'm in this party, but now I have so many projects and so many things to do. When I finish it, maybe I find the time to pass the process of GDE applying.
Okay, so it's finally started, so I can make a TreeView component here and pass value to it, which is data. Let's see how it goes. Let's turn the night mode for you night mode lovers. You could also send me a link to the stack Blitz because I don't remember all those styles by my heart.
Where do you want to get
Doesn't
it?
work. Just send it whenever. I mean, on Telegram is fine.
Okay.
Something doesn't work.
I think we have.
Let's see if example works at all.
You can find the link
Sure.
on Telegram.
So you see test did not appear here. I think I need to recompile it because it did not pick changes in the example here. That's unfortunate. Compilation of the whole demo portal takes some time. Let's check if everything is in place. So we have example here. We import that. The module has TreeView example here. Also have some unnecessary modules. I will take them out soon. Alright, so it looks like it should be working. Hold on. Don't look at my private messages here. Here is the stack Blitz by Roman. I actually did those styles myself back when Roman was working on that. So this is some crazy stuff going on here. You see I know a lot of web developers are afraid of CSS or don't like it, and when you see something like this you probably freak out. So it's not last child, not first of type, before. And here this is just basically two styles that we need to apply. One goes for the last child, not last child, so it's not the last one, and it's not also first of type. This is how we target an item that is not the only one of those multi-dimensional views here. And this is one where we target not arrays, but I mean the end leaf of our tree, like this one, and let's just write those styles once the thing compiles. Oh, I also forgot to add Indexless here. I hope it would not make us recompile everything again. Let's try adding it. Indexless. A common question we hear a lot is why we use less and not sus, and the answer is we just started with less a while back, and there's no reason for us to switch. All our applications in our company use less, and there's not much difference between those two for me. And if you use SAS, you can absolutely use Taiga as well, because it doesn't matter. Angular can mix those two together.
We have also SAS precompiled styles.
Yes, that's right.
Because someone contributed to it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that was.
Have we merged it?
Yeah, it's there. It was by Weenie something. Don't remember the nickname.
Taiga UI local.
Yeah, Weenie Cronji. Crone.
I'm sorry. But he's cool.
Some guy from Cape Town, South Africa, who was helping us with Taiga a lot and hanging around with us in Angular Discord. You can also join it. Can you send a link to the chat? Angular has official Discord, and Taiga UI has a channel there, which you could join and ask questions about Taiga UI. It's a pretty cool place where we hang. I mean, at least to me. Yeah, there's a link to it. So let's see if it works. Yeah, we see test, at least, but not our TreeView component. For some reason, it doesn't work. Let's try to debug it a little bit. Maybe it's there, but it's just not visible. Hold on. How on earth is this thing so big? So what we have here? We have an example, we have a TreeView example, there's a TreeView. And these are components, but they're all empty. Why are they empty, Roman?
Why not?
Looks like you messed it up. Let's see what's going on here. So we have value, which is array, and we have implicit value. Oh, I got you. What's wrong here is hold on. We have content or value here, and context as value, and no, hold on, why it's not working? Oh, I got it, because it's TUI TreeView.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So let's see if it works now.
Why is it past TypeScript check and Angular? Yeah. We have failed build. True.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, what's interesting is that the final leaf of the tree didn't work as well, which is a polymorphous outlet. It should be working. See? If it's not array, we should get this. It should have at least some divs here, you know? There must be divs.
Yeah.
What's going on? Let's see if it's recompiling. How on earth is this so slow? I just changed one line. Content is empty string, so it should fall back to value. And value in my case are strings. These are strings. Rather strange. Alright, so what do we have now? There you go. We have all the stuff there. So what can we do about it? So we have three views here. We see the padding is applied, and let's remove the test here. And also I wonder if the styles apply. Let's try something. Also we need to remove the encapsulation here. We want it to have no encapsulation, or else we would have to use ngdeep. view encapsulation none. This is what we are going to have here, and you can just add this to global styles if you want. And let's add a class here, class custom. That's how we would call it. And let's try right in here. TreeView custom color red, just to check if it works.
Well,
There you go, it works.
Alex,
Yes.
I have a question.
All right.
Where did you find such a cool T-shirt?
I got it from a cool store that you could find in the description of this stream.
And in the chat right now.
That's right. So remember our crazy scary selector, this one. What is this for? It selects arrays, but not last child and not first of type. This is how we separate our top level component from the rest. So let's just copy that. Now we'll go step by step here. What we want to do is we want to also target all the tree views that are children of this one. So it's TreeView custom TreeView, because we're not able to add any classes to the child components. We can use CSS selector for children like that. And also we want to add this to only array classes. And we also want to add these styles to not array. And we would make those lines here with before pseudo element. Let's try it and see if it works. Actually, I think maybe this one is not required since we targeted by like that, but we'll see. Oh, that's one window. This one. So you see these lines are now applied. They look a little bit wrong, but we could align them a little bit. So let's see what's going on here. I think we can use our dev tools. So there's a top level tree view. It has it only has padding applied to it, and it's a display block. As you see, it doesn't have any before pseudo element because it's the first of type of this component. That's why we have not first of type selector here. We don't want to style the top level one. And here we have a first one, and this one has the before. And this before pseudo element is just a little box which is positioned 20 pixels to the left. Let's position it a little bit more to the right, maybe like 16. And it has a width of 10 pixels and the height of 100% of our element here. It is absolutely positioned and has a border left and border bottom. We could even try something fancy like dotted here to have dots. I don't know if you can see them, they're very small on my monitor. Let's not do that, let's just make it solid. But you can customize it the way you want with your custom classes when you will be using the TreeView component. And what I see is that it's a little bit too tall, I think. But let's try it a little later. So this TreeView is not an array. You see, it's a leaf level. We have a div here which shows our content, and the next one is an array. Let's see how it goes. So this one is a array, and it has a different styles applied to it. It's just a very tall stick that has the full height of this component. We need to also move it because I moved the other one. You see it's applied properly now. It's also the same concept, it's just a rectangle with a border, but this one only has the left border. And let's apply, adjust the height a little bit. We have 100%. We can use calc and subtract maybe 0.2 em from it. 0.3, 0.6. That looks fine to me, but we need to take care of this empty spot here. How do we do that? Well, this needs this takes a little bit of fiddling with these styles to get them right. I think it's not interesting. I'll just leave it like that and get it properly aligned off stream. So these are the styles that we can apply to a TreeView, and let's try to add some custom content here. Strings are boring. Let's add some icons or something and write a template. So let's make an ng template, content, let value, and let's do svg. This is our component for showing svg elements, for example our icons by name. So let's add the module here. And we don't need forms. Let's remove those. So let's pick an icon that we like, maybe a star. Icons. Oops, I messed it up. Icons. We can also pick the icon from the data. Let's even try that. This would show the thing better. So right now we only have strings. Let's say we have objects like this one, text and icon. Remember, we use generics, so we don't require any particular interface. And let's add it to everyone. Even let's skip icons for some elements to make it more interesting. Icon, icon heart. I will just write it as terribly as I can and let the prettier sort it out for me. And this one will be just text. And what we have as well, we have it here. Let's also have text. Like that. And here let's add icon. We can change icons if we want, but it will just take some time for us. So prettier got it right. And let's pass this content as our content here. And we have value here, which is value text. It's not typed right now. There's no way to type it since it's just a template. It will be any here. Unfortunately, we cannot set any type for the template. Maybe we could use a view child and set type there, but that doesn't make sense. And let's add ng if here. If we have a value icon, we'll pass it as a src to our svg component. Right now I think it would look terrible, so let's add a wrapping div. Wrapper. And apply, oops. And apply display flex to it. Oh, we have our global styles here. We don't want to add styles for all the wrappers. Let's just do it like that. Alright, so it's gonna be TreeView custom. TreeView custom, and then wrapper, and it's gonna be display flex align items center, and we would add some margin here, but we're gonna use a global class that we have in Taiga. 2 space right, let's say 4. It's gonna add 16 pixels of right margin here. Let's see how it looks like now. It broke.
Ooh.
It's recompiling. Maybe it would get fixed. So you see,
Yeah.
it works. Margin is a little bit excessive, but you see we applied some custom template with icon and text here. Let's maybe make 2. Sounds about right for me. So this is how you customize stuff with Polymorphis. You just use templates or strings if you like, or if we have some fancy component that shows avatar, name, email, whatever, and we want to use it across many applications, we could just use it as a custom dynamic component and pass it here. So it could be like we would do content here and be some new Polymorphis component, and we would pass our awesome class here. We would use it in a template then, and the context that we have, it would be injected as a context token into this class, and we could use it in the template. So that's pretty cool. Let's remove Polymorphis from here. I think that's it. We show how you can customize styles of TreeView using some custom class here and global styles, or you could use ngDeep, but I don't recommend it. I think global styles work fine because you might want to reuse this across your application. We used custom template here to show how you could do that. Of course, we could make it much more pretty, and we probably will for the demo, but for the stream I think it's fine. We have icons show up and text here, and like I said, we are going to add expansion, collapse and expand later. It would require a little refactor here, but you could check it out in the pull request when it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any questions there?
No, we don't have any questions.
Yep, so if nobody has any more questions,
thank you.
yeah, I'm glad you liked that. Let's hope for more live coding sessions later.
I think I'm going to add a big preview component. It's preview for documents, for images, anything you want to preview, and it's a very hard and big component. We have it in our proprietary version of Taiga, and I think it's time to open source it. I hope we can make it in this or on the next week maybe. Wait for announcements. So yeah, and thanks that you choose us instead of some ngConf.
Yeah, I believe ngConf
anything.
workshops are going live right now, free workshops. It's cool to see 14 people here instead of
we
going
have
live.
110 people that come through the stream.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty long stream, and of course the preview component that Roman talked about is gonna be long too, but the challenges to review that we discussed would be shorter, and I hope we could have some more short content coming up later.
Here comes a good question. How would you use TreeView component if you want a different representation for each dimension? It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's a good question. So we can.
One way we could do that is we could
Oh.
figure out the level that we have and add it to the context
Yeah.
of content. So we could use
Or
this.
we can just change our template looking at our value. Maybe
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
add like you see here we have. I mean, if you want to automatically get that, this would be the value in context that I
Yeah.
talked about. But you could also
yeah.
add here like a level.
Yeah.
Level.
Or for example, you can add here some kind of mark, not level, for example, I don't know, custom view or appearance type, anything you want to, and it allows you to customize it in for any case, because here you can customize your data type, so it's no limitation, no restrictions. You can just add some levels or some appearance or flags about how could it look like, and you can also customize your template for each item, and that's why you can just do some kind of ng switch with different looks for every this flag or level or appearance, and it can work. Yeah, I see no problems here.
Yeah, let's just add it real quick.
Good idea.
Data level and the value level, and let's have it like that. Once again, this is these are global styles, so I'm writing these long selectors. But if you use encapsulated styles, you don't have to write all this. SVG data level, let's say 2, and it would be color red, for example. Let's see how it's gonna work. This one's gonna turn red, I think, right? Yes.
Yeah.
You see, this is how you can do that.
So easy. And here's a new question: when will be next major release of Taiga UI? Will be released?
I don't think it's gonna happen in the next half a year or something like that. We don't want to make breaking changes too often, and there's no reason to make a new major release without breaking changes. We have a few things to consider for 3.0, and once we get enough of them, we architecture them and have some working prototypes, we're gonna start adding those features and deprecating old things, and once we have a lot of them, we are going to release a new major version, dropping the deprecated features.
And yeah, Vladimir got the approach. But yeah, thanks for your question. It was an interesting example how we can customize it. And
yeah, one thing why is this better than adding it to context is because every level does not care about what level it is at, and it would be great to keep it that way. It's more simple code on our side, and it's always not that hard for your side to add the indication for the level, because you know your data model and you know where to put what, and then customize the template accordingly.
Yeah, it's a good sample of our philosophy about making reusable components. So we just allow you to choose your data, to choose your representation or template, and this way we can get a component for all the cases, not for some particular use cases. And yeah, it makes our library
more flexible
more
and easier to
flexible and
maintain.
just, well,
thanks
I
for
don't
sticking
see
with us
any new
for so long.
questions.
Yeah,
If you have any, you can reach us in Twitter.
I think
or
it was an
Telegram.
hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe we drop it a half an hour ago, but yeah, kinda an hour and a half. Well, I think we can
Yeah, that's
finish it.
Thanks for joining us, and
Thank
see you
you.
later
Bye.
in the next streams.